guest for this episode is the Vice President of Corporate Strategy, Performance and Growth, Ashish Chaturvedy.
Ducab has historically been known for the quality that it has mastered the art of. We have had the privilege to open our new offices a few years back in India. So it's almost going back to calling it our second home. As we speak today, we are proud to have almost 30 nationalities working for us in our 6 plants across the UAE and several offices overseas as well. It's been a huge success from what we were at that point in time to where we will be closing our books at this year.
Hello and welcome to Ducab Daily. My name is Lachlan Kitchen and it's great to have you along for Season 2 of the podcast series. Today we are discussing the global expansion story of Ducab, beginning in the UAE and now stretching to 75 countries around the world. My guest for this episode is the Vice President of Corporate Strategy, Performance and Growth, Ashish Chaturvedy. Ashish, thank you very much for joining us here on the podcast.
Morning. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's a great story. Beginning in 1979, humble beginnings, one country. Now, some 45 years later, Ducab has spread to 75 countries around the world. If we go back to the start of the story, going back to 1979, why was Ducab first invented?
So there's a very interesting story that dates way back in 77 when Dubai was growing and His Highness late Sheikh Rashid was looking for ambitious projects to be put in place. There was a lot of enthusiasm on how the place needs to grow and develop. And in 79, as he was driving away from that's the anecdote. As he was driving away from Sheikh Zayed Road, he finds a piece of land where he put Dubai, which is what we know today, opposite the Ibn Battuta Mall. And then as you drive further away, the Jebel Ali port was only just coming up. So right next to that is when the leadership of Dubai partnered with BICC from the UK to put up a cable factory, which is located as we speak next to the Jebel Ali Golf Resort. It was unheard of that anyone would actually drive further away from the city so far out in the desert to be able to work for a cable factory.
It's almost another country, that part of the UAE.
It is
back
indeed.
In 1977. Internationally, what is it about Ducab that makes people want to engage with them?
A huge portion of that rests with the kind of product that we produce and the service that we provide. So Ducab has historically been known for the quality that it has mastered the art of and consistently delivering on the promises that it delivers to its customers. So each happy customer goes back as the brand advocate, talks about the experience that they've had with the product, and should these same contractors and developers go out to Iraq, South Africa, Hong Kong, Australia, would then try and bring back the same experience with their teams. And that's how we've also had the good fortune to reach out to so many countries and have the customers experience not just our product, but the services that we've been offering as well.
You touched on the nationalities in the global expansion. India is sort of a version 2.0, home 2.0 for Ducab, would you say at this stage?
Yeah, it clearly marks a big success and a jump, given that a large portion of the blue-collar workers and indeed the white-collar that come in from the Indian subcontinent, historically we've been blessed with a lot of talent from across the region. And we have had the privilege to open our new offices a few years back in India. So it's almost going back to calling it our second home. A, because of the inherent demand of our product in the Indian market, but B, our rich knowledge and capability that exists within our teams to be able to understand that market and develop and grow that market.
The success of Ducab, it sort of mirrors the vision for the UAE and the growth, and they've grown alongside each other, supporting each other along the way. And is that something that people that work within Ducab feel a sense of pride? This was a company that was made in the UAE for the UAE, and it's an integral part of our lives.
It is, yeah. A lot of people have spent almost their entire working life in Ducab. They were coming in from different parts of the world. As we speak today, we are proud to have almost 30 nationalities working for us in our 6 plants across the UAE and several offices overseas as well. But having started the operations back then, there was just about 40 odd people who would come in from different parts of the world, largely from the subcontinent. And It is the government of Dubai who tied hands with PICC from the UK to be able to set up this plant on a technical collaboration. Over the years, we've grown. We've moved away from Jebel Ali being our core to Abu Dhabi, where we now proudly host 4 factories, and 2 more remain in Jebel Ali in Dubai. But there has been a huge success from what we were at that point in time to where we will be closing our books at this year. Almost 8 billion dirhams is the kind of turnover that we're expecting for this year. It's a huge story from scratch to 8 billion in 45 years, supplying to 75 countries.
One of the great things about Ducab is obviously the investment, the foreign investment that's coming in, because what percentage of your products do you think would be exported from Ducab? Is it 50, 60%?
So a large part of the cable business is generally consumed within the UAE, but almost 30 to 40% is actually exported to the rest of the world. But from the metal side of this business, it's exactly the other end of the spectrum, because there we are exporting 90% outside of the UAE, bringing in a lot of those export dollars that contribute to the economy within the UAE.
It's a story that everyone is certainly proud of, even if they're unaware of the success. But to be in business for 5 years is impressive. To be in business for 45 is remarkable. Do you have any views on what the next 45 years hold for Ducab?
Oh, the sky is the limit. We remain driven and pushed by the leadership of the country. This place is known to be making things possible which are impossible, and we are going to be a part of that journey. When UAE is ready for the next 50, and Ducab is clearly aligned and standing behind them, you hear of Dubai bringing in the new Idris Alba campaign, which says "Bring the impossible to the UAE." That is the challenge that UAE set for itself, whether it's technical collaboration, it's AI, it's flying taxis over Charing Cross last week that were launched by Dubai in London. Everyone in the world and his uncle wants to come in and see what this place is about in the first visit. The second visit, they want to be a part of this fabric. Either bring the family in, start a new family, have a job. And that's how Ducab continues to be a part of this story as well.
It's an incredible story. Ashish, you've been a part of it in a small way, but it's been great to have you share your passion for Ducab on the podcast.
Thank you.
My thanks to today's guest, Ashish Chaturvedy, the Vice President of Corporate Strategy, Performance and Growth at Ducab. And we look forward to your company on Season 3 of Ducab Daily.